Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. Alright guys, so we're going to kind of dive into this right away. We're going to talk about what you guys voted for, because I did post a few subjects and it was kind of overwhelmingly clear that you guys wanted me to do a video about alternative universes. Did I say that slow enough? Did you slip into an alternative universe by the time I finished that sentence? So I want to put a disclaimer, as I do on most of my videos. This is a video about how I've come to understand alternative universe. So disclaimer is I am not an expert by any means. I am not a scientist. I am not a physicist. I don't even know if I said it right. And I am not here to say that I know how all of these things on a scientific level work, but do I believe in it? Yes. And have I feel like I've peeked into what we might call an alternative universe, and maybe we don't understand it all completely with science, meaning like quantum physics and things like this are constantly being explored and constantly being understood as time goes on. I absolutely believe that spirituality, mediumship, intuition, all these things that I use and see, remote viewing and all of that is almost like a science we don't quite understand. And I'm going to start with this. As someone who speaks to those who've passed on, which is what I do in my medium readings, and since I believe as a medium that I am not bringing any dead people to here, I'm not like having them drive in their car, come over here to me, open a door and come into my house and speak to me for you and whatnot. I don't believe that I'm bringing anything to me to speak to. I believe that I'm talking to energies that are in another dimension. It could be an alternate universe altogether, however which way you want to call. And I would say that I don't know for sure exactly the words I would use to describe it, except for the vision I have is almost like a sphere, which I've said before, or an onion, and we're one layer and they're another layer. So it is a universe within a universe, if you want to call it that, or a dimension within a dimension. I just feel it is another dimension or alternate universe. And here's why. Because I don't see it as a mystical thing in the sense that, you know, spirits are walking around in some mystical way, the way ancient ways have looked at it, where we didn't really understand what was happening with the dead, that they're turning in different forms and such. So what I feel is that when people pass, they're people who die, they're just people, and we drop the body, and in this other dimension or in this alternate universe, they are not allowed or need to use a body. Now that's one aspect of it. So I do know we are interested in the idea, is there an alternate universe where Adela is maybe, and actually Adele, cue Adele, and singing and being this amazing singer, and I have a whole different existence. I mean, I believe that in a small sense, and I'm going to explain. Not that I'm Adele, but with this amazing voice in this alternate universe. But the fact that the way I see time, and I was just on the Bigfoot Collectors Club, which you should check me out. I was a guest on their podcast, actually just dropped today. And we talked about this, how I see time. And I see time as kind of more like a sphere, and a sphere with an outer rings kind of running around it. And it's the only vision I can explain. And what I feel is that these possible timelines that I see that are going on are almost like an alternate universe. Now, my sense, this is just what I've come to understand thus far, is not that this alternate universe is like, okay, if you made a decision to go get that sandwich and to go to, you know, your job at this, you know, time, that a whole alternate universe happened, a whole nother reality has taken place. I don't really feel like I see it that way. I feel like what I see it like is Once you make the decision, it shifts the timeline, it shifts you down that road, and now this is your reality. Now, I feel what people think of alternate universes, they think is that there's other universes that are an alternate to your life. And I do find that kind of fascinating. And I will say this. Have you ever had this experience? Because I have. And leave in the comments below if you've had these types of experiences. And I know there's going to be many people who want to share. However, have you ever had an experience where you almost feel like things have lined up so perfectly, like you meet someone and you're talking to them and you're telling them something that it's almost like you're talking to yourself? I almost feel like sometimes we have these moments where all the dots line up, and sometimes I do see this thing where it almost looks like, or I have this vision where it almost looks like everything kind of lined up so perfectly that like I met this person, I'm saying this, and it perfectly lined up to my life. And it kind of feels like, am I peeking in to some alternate universe that's existing at the same time I'm existing, and I'm just not aware of it? I hope I didn't lose you. I know it's getting woo. However, I feel like we can go down this infinite rabbit hole once we go into that. So what I'm trying to share with you is what I've come to learn thus far and what I've come to understand. And I feel like when you go down the rabbit hole I just described, then we're actually kind of opening ourselves up to so many possible rabbit holes that may take us further and further away from answers. I really feel like what's happening is because we see as time as being a beginning and an end, and we don't see time as flowing, as a constant, that it is hard for us to understand, can there be different universes happening at the same time? Can there be alternate us's existing at the same time? And I think we think it's easier to think that way because that might explain, if you made this decision to go this way, then this is one future that happened. Or if you made a decision this way, then that's another future, and they're just existing. But I think that's linear. I feel like it's looking at time that's moving forward and back. But if you're looking at time as constantly moving, then it's not necessary to have different yous out there. It really isn't, because you've passed that and it's moved, and you've passed it and it's moved, and you've done that and you've made this decision and it's moving and it's constantly moving. I think it's harder to see time. Hold on, taking a little, what does this say? Girls rule break. And I think it's harder to see time as moving on a constant basis, because I feel that we need beginnings and ends. And when we think of alternate universes, of meaning, okay, I made a decision and this outcome came over here. I made a decision and this outcome came over here. So maybe, Adela's existing in this alternate universe doing this, or this alternate universe is doing that. It almost makes us feel like we never make a wrong decision, quote unquote, or a right decision. And it's easier to kind of feel like maybe they're both, or all of them are just kind of perfectly right. It's just an alternate living. I don't really feel that way. I don't feel that there's doom and gloom when you make decisions and you decide to go a certain direction. I don't feel like it's like, oh my gosh, that was a horrible decision, now everything's just crumbled. So I do believe that there's different futures and different outcomes according to the decisions we make. So I feel like really what's happening when I think of alternate universes is there's literally other universes that may have nothing to do with this world we're in, meaning very similar to the ocean on our Earth. It is a whole different universe in the ocean than it is on land. There's a whole different universe in the air than it is on land. There's a whole different universe for the ants. There's a whole different universe for certain animals. I feel that the alternate universes are more interconnected, existing within each other, but the perspective and what is happening and the way you need to be in those universes are completely different, which brings me to what I began with the land of the dead, as people say, or the other side. And on the other side, meaning when we pass, This to me is an alternate universe, because in this universe, you are still you, the core of who you are, but you are not completely you. It's a different universe of yourself. You are living different. The rules are different. You don't need a body. There is no time. Time doesn't exist there because it is not limited. Sorry, I wanted to say the right word. Limited by the mundane world. So in this alternate universe, you are living in pure energy and you are able to exist in a whole different way. So I come to understand that yes, there are many different alternate universes that we can't possibly know. Me, including you, I know from what I've come to understand is just a little corner of answers. And so all of us can't just claim we know everything. When I talk about things, I talk about what I've come to understand from higher beings that have existed for a very long time and have an understanding of all of these different types of universes. So I feel like when you're going down the rabbit hole, try to tighten it. People will say there's this theory, there's that theory. People get crazy and all these type of things, and there's this and there's that. And I feel like if you just kind of pare it down to something very simple, which is what I like to do on this channel, which is if you just look at our own world, we have many universes within this world. Like I said, on land, in air, in sea, and so on and so on and so on. And to me, when I'm talking to those who have passed, they are spirits, they are energies that have gone into this other dimension, this other universe, and I am able to hear and see them pass through the barrier. So I feel like as we evolve and we learn these things, I feel like we're going to cross many barriers in different universes. And even if you look at technology and you look at VR and you look at computers, that's an alternate universe. Being in a VR, you can create an alternate universe. Being online, it's an alternate universe. So when we look at it from something very grounded, tight and precise, and not getting all down these rabbit holes where it can drive you crazy, and you see it and you bring it down to a simple form to everyday things we do, and you simplify it, you can see the possibilities. I hope this made sense. I hope this gave you a little peek into what I've come to understand. Thank you guys so much for joining. Leave comments below. I know there's going to be all kinds of interesting theories and ideas and things people have about this. Just want to let you know I'm still offering 50% off of readings during this time. I hope you enjoy this alternate universe and break from what's going on all around us all the time. Also, I am teaching a class on remote viewing coming up, and check that out. You can go to my website to see everything I'm doing, and also Instagram is really where I post most things. Thank you guys for polling and taking the poll and voting for this. I love to hear your ideas of what you guys want me to do. Never feel like you can't just drop me an idea. Believe me, I take them in more than you think. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see you guys soon.